Alrighty. Welcome to Paul's Take, and this is the night shift. I'm not sure that actual title might be taken somewhere, but we'll use it for now. So today's episode is on life in space, life in the universe. Are we alone in the universe here on Earth? People believe so. Some people do. Some people don't. And I don't think we're alone. It seems like it's pretty obvious. I mean, for one, the universe, even our solar system, right? Or no, that's our galaxy. Our galaxy is so huge that it's even hard to wrap your mind around it, right? Because it's like from one end to the other. See, it's like so one. Let's see if I figure out how many. So it's 200,000 light years across. I see that. I see 100,000. Well, 100, 200,000 light years across. That in itself, in one Milky Way, is crazy. I mean, if you think about a light year, how far you can get across in just one. This is 200,000 light years. I mean, you really can't even imagine it. I mean, you can't even wrap your head around how vast that is. So it is estimated that this Milky Way galaxy has between 100 and 400 billion stars. Whoa. And at least that number of planets. Well, I'm thinking it says it should have at least half that number of planets. I think it's going to be a lot more. There's probably more planets than there are stars. It just makes sense since our sun has nine planets, and then we keep finding new planets everywhere. I think every sun, or there's probably just even rogue planets just floating around within the Milky Way. So there's at least, well, even if it was 200 billion stars with 200 or 100 billion planets, and on this solar system we have 9 planets, and most people believe there's probably life on Mars. So in this solar system there was probably 2 planets that have life, and there might even be life on some of the moons on some of these other big planets. So just by the sheer mass of the Milky Way itself, with up to like 400 billion stars, it's crazy. There's got to be so many planets that are in the hospitable zone. Excuse me. But that's not even my reason why I think there's life out there. We'll get to that later. Let's just see. I'm curious. How many? So there's 400. Think about potentially 400 billion stars in our Milky Way. And how many? Well, actually, you know what? Let's see here. Let's go back. Hey, Google. How many galaxies in the universe?
200 billion galaxies. According to NASA, this led to an estimate that the observable universe contained about 200 billion galaxies.
Thank you. 200. So yeah, each galaxy probably has at least 1 billion stars, and there's 200 billion galaxies in the seeable, observable universe. Is that, and to think that this one little planet would have all the life. All the elements are from stars, right? That's what makes the life on Earth. Everything comes from exploding stars. There's exploding stars happening all the time everywhere. So just by the sheer numbers, it would be impossible to think there's not, even if it was rare, even if life was on one in every million stars, there was some kind of life, there would still be a ton, just a crazy amount of planets with life on them, even at 1 in a million. It's just 200 billion galaxies. There's 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. It's just the numbers, I can't even count that high. It's just crazy high. But that's not the reason that I think there's life everywhere. The reason why I think there's life, let's see. Hey, Google, when did life start on Earth?
4.5 billion years ago, according to BBC.com. For instance, in August 2016, researchers found what appeared to be fossilized microbes dating back 3.7 billion years. The Earth itself is not much older, having formed 4.5 billion years ago.
Wow. All right, so wait a minute. Earth itself is much older. So 4.5 billion years. Oh, so they got microbes going back 3.7 billion years ago. So it seemed like as soon as the Earth cooled itself and had probably a surface to even contain life began 3.7 billion years ago. And every time, so the planet got destroyed many times, right? You see here. Hey, Google, how many times did life get wiped out on Earth?
Here's a summary from New Scientist. Life may have emerged not once. In 4.5 billion years of earthly history, life as we know it arose just once.
What? Just once. Well, that's not what I heard. What do they know at Google? Well, I guess when the Earth got destroyed, it didn't destroy all of life on Earth. It destroyed probably large portions, like when the asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. My understanding, there was multiple wipeouts, but I guess it was a complete wipeout of every little living thing on Earth, just like the big stuff. So microbes and small lives and probably alligators and stuff that are living in water survived. My point is this. It seemed like as soon as life was able to live on Earth, which was 3.7 billion years ago, it did first. So there was all kinds of life on this planet, probably so much different types of life that we haven't even discovered probably a small fraction of all the stuff that has sprung on Earth, and then got eaten up by other species, got what's the word I'm looking for? Extinct. So life sprung, gets extinct, sprung, gets extinct, some things evolved, a lot of things get wiped out. And here we are, 3.5. The Earth was not always the same. It was probably a lot hotter a billion years ago. Hey, Google, what was the temperature on Earth 100 billion years ago?
Here's what I found on the web.
Cut me off, dude. Hey, Google, what was the average temperature of Earth 100 million years ago?
Here's some information for how much has the Earth warmed in 100 years? According to NASA, since around the time of the Industrial Revolution, Earth's atmosphere has warmed by a little less than 1 degree Celsius. In turn, the ocean has also risen by about 15 centimeters over the past 100 years, for 2 reasons.
You stop this thing. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm sure the Earth had gone through some changes, and life still existed. Probably got hot, probably got cold, probably hot way back when. But the atmosphere was probably different. The chemistry was probably different. And yet life flourished. So that is my main reason why I think that life exists all over. I think really, to tell you the truth, I think life is all over the universe in abundance. So if you go out wherever there's like the basic chemistry that you need for life, I think life will evolve. It'll evolve to the environment it's in. So even though they say like it's supposed to be this Goldilocks zone, I don't necessarily believe that either, because I think that life as we know it exists in this Goldilocks zone, but life as we don't understand it can probably grow other places. Might be really weird stuff, but nonetheless. And I bet you there's so much stuff in this universe that is like life that we can't even understand it, right? It's like, whoa, what the heck? Something, stuff that we can't even imagine. Like there's, we have trees, right? Well, you don't really, I would think that if somebody or something that was dumb, they may not think a tree was life, but it is. So there's probably other things out there in the universe that maybe we wouldn't consider as life, but maybe they are, even though we haven't considered that as life. And so it's just too vast. It's so vast. It's ridiculous. So anyways, I was thinking about evolution today too. Evolution, like how are we programmed, right? Let's just assume for now that the God of the Bible is inaccurate. But yet, there's obviously intelligence. There's intelligence. We're intelligent design. We're not just random. We all have 5 fingers on each hand. We all have 2 arms. They both reach out to about the same length. The legs, they match up. Everything matches up. The eyes, nice color, and all, I get hair. It's not just we're programmed to grow a certain way. We're programmed to look a certain way and have similar, looks, feel, genetics, whatever. I mean, the genetics, I guess, the genes and the genetics is a program. Well, how's this program made? Who made the program? Is it random? No, it can't be random. There's some intelligent design here. But what is the intelligent design? Of course, some people do believe it's God, but it could be a God energy, or it could be, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but here's what I was thinking. I want to believe that each species or each life, in a sense, can create or start to create its next evolution, I guess. What do I mean? Okay, so here's what I mean. When you were kids, right, you're playing with, you see all these dinosaurs, and you see even animals the same way. Like animals will adapt so they won't get eaten, or they can eat better. They either hide, or they can attack, they can fly, but each one is trying to evolve. So like some will create camouflage, some will change colors, some will spit out stinky stuff out your butt, skunks. All these different ideas to stay alive and to eat better, to hunt and stay alive from predators. Well, if it was just one mind, I guess you would say, one, like say it was a God, right? Well, how would it'd be kind of weird to me to say, well, I want to make this guy avoid this guy by doing this. And then this guy is going to be able to attack this guy by having bigger teeth and a bigger nose, or this one's going to change color and hide from that same person. So it's like, if it's one mind, how could you outsmart the other? it'd be like, well, it's like each one is trying to outsmart the other, right? So it's like the evolution is based on the particular animal or species trying to evolve to survive. So it's like each individual species is evolving to survive. It's not like there's one person saying, well, I'm going to make this guy this way, and I'm going to make this guy this way, and he's going to, I know I'll make this one, so I'll make the cat faster, so that way he can chase the mouse, but I'll make the mouse smaller so he can hide in the hole. No, it's like the mouse is saying, I got to get smaller so I can hide from the cat. I got to squeeze in small places. And the cat's like, I got to get faster to catch the mouse. You know what I'm saying? It's like each individual species has its own God, in a sense, or they're their own kind of God, you know? Maybe not the God, but it's like whatever the ultimate design is, gave each species the ability to adapt to its environment and its threats. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's kind of like a program that everybody, an open source program. You know what I'm saying? It's a program. Somebody created the program somehow, some energy, some person, some almighty whatever, create a program that can be, it's like open source, can be rewritten, can be modified, right? Because there's a lot going on. There's lots of stuff on this earth, and each one has its own challenges, and it just makes more sense that way. It's like almost like create something and just blows up, like, because it's everything is making, like I can make 10 things. So say if I make 10 things, and those 10 things can make 10 things, each of those 10 things can make 10 things, it's going to exponentially get huge, like the universe. The universe is going to grow beyond our imagination, because it just, I put the program out there that I create 10 things, and each of those 10 things creates 10 things. So that, in a sense, I think is kind of what's happening with the universe. Either that, or it's all just a figment of your imagination, which also might be an easier solution. Instead of creating billions and billions and billions of stars in each galaxy, and billions of galaxies, and billions and quadrillions, I don't know, I can't even say the numbers, of different species in different environments, in different everything. Well, this would be a lot easier if I just created one person, and that person can just live off a dream, basically. A dream in one dimension. You're just dreaming. I'm dreaming, I'm awake. Then later tonight, about an hour, I'll be dreaming in my sleep, but it's all still just a dream. It'd be a lot easier for that to exist, or to create, than actually the nuts and bolts of millions and billions of galaxies and stars. And it's crazy. Think about billions and billions of galaxies, each with billions and billions of stars, and with planets on billions and planets, and billions and quadrillions of different landscapes and environments and all this stuff. There's just crazy to think about it. Kind of hurts your head too. Kind of like, whoa, I'm using myself. Of like imagining to travel, just to travel even in our own one galaxy. If you could stop by each planet for like 10 seconds and fly through each one, you would see so many different kinds of atmospheres or landscapes and systems. Or maybe not. Or maybe it's all very similar to like Leaves on a tree. Maybe there are hundreds of how many leaves are in a forest. How many trees in a forest and how many leaves in a forest. But each tree is pretty similar. And each leaf, or even though it's different, it's pretty similar. So maybe that's what it is out there. Maybe there's a lot, but a lot of the same. Interesting. These are like stoner topics, right? I'm not high. Trust me, I'm not. Look how man, I could imagine my show if I was, though. Really put out some deep thoughts, but it's been, how old am I? Shoot, like 25 years. I'd probably lose my mind. Or you put out some really good shows. Anyhow, I'm not going to ramble on all day. Something to think about. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. You get some more random stoner thoughts from a sober guy. Except for maybe a little bit of this. Water. Yeah, so that's cool. I was watching these just for kicks. We're done with our topic. Let's go to current events. Current events. Today was the third day or fourth day? Third day of the Democratic Convention. And we got to hear Joe Biden speak. And I was very proud of him. He sounded really, really good. He was very impressive. I mean, I don't know about, yeah, I mean, for Joe Biden now, he seemed pretty sharp for him. You know, everybody's like kind of watching him to think, is he gonna like fumble and talk crazy? But he didn't. He sounded, from what I saw, he sounded very, very sharp. I wonder if it was recorded, though. That's what I keep wondering. Because it totally can be recorded now. It doesn't have to be live. It's supposed to be live, but it could have been recorded. Anyhow, he did a good job. He's the beginning part of the speech, it held my attention. But I got to admit, I kind of faded out after a while. I kind of got bored. He did say one quote. There's one thing he said. And a lot of supposed to he said was kumbaya. I mean, he's trying to get elected, so he doesn't say everything nice. He's not going to say anything bad. I wish that he would condemn the violence right now with all the protesting. Not the protesting. Protesting is fine, but the violence and the looting and destruction, all stuff, and the random acts of violence. So he punching somebody in the face or kicking somebody when they're down. I don't think any of them. I've been watching bits and pieces, but it doesn't seem like they were condemning anybody about that kind of stuff. I really wish they would. I think that would help them out a lot, because if you're trying to cater to the moderates, then that's what's going to be a big issue. If they're not going to condemn the violence, then they're going to lose a lot of people. So anyhow, but besides that, I thought he did a good job. He didn't, like I said, so what's the other thing? Those two things. Oh, what he said. One thing he said that I thought was very interesting. I mean, interesting, I meant he shouldn't have said it. He was talking about the coronavirus and COVID-19, China flu, whatever. And he said that the Trumps they're expecting a miracle. There's not going to be a miracle, he says. There's not going to be a miracle. Very adamant about that. And I thought that was not a smart thing to say. I thought that was pretty dumb, because I think people are expecting miracles, and everything in life is a miracle. Even like trying to find a vaccine, which I think is shady. Everything's a miracle. So, especially in this Christian country, then I don't think you should be like dissing miracles. All right, well, there you have it. There's my show. Thanks for watching Paul's Take. You guys are the best. Be sure, like I said, if you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. Hit like for more videos and podcasts. So this is actually on a podcast as well. And if you're on a podcast, it's also on a YouTube video on YouTube. So they're both under Paul's Take. I haven't even tried to find it on the podcast, so I'm assuming you can find it pretty easily. Maybe not. I don't know. look under, it's called Paul's Take, just like this. So if you're out and about, now the YouTube is live, the podcast is not. They don't allow you to be live, or at least I haven't figured out how, or at least the server that I'm doing is not live. It's recorded, but it would be available probably 30 minutes after the live show. All right. Thanks for watching Paul's Take. See you tomorrow at 12:30.